Today we're gonna talk about our centerpiece, the feature that we're gonna put in the middle of our circle, which can be pretty much anything from a figure or an empty space. We later gonna stamp our maker's mark or put some initials in there. But more often than not, we use flowers in there. Now these flowers, they're unlike real flowers, they stylized. And the reason for that is because we have to present them from the best angle possible that fits our tooling. This is a common 5-petal one. Now it can be pretty much any kind of flower, and you don't even have to worry about what sort of flower you do. They just have to look good. Well, first I'd like to talk about how to plan your flower, how to place it, and how to size it. So this is our circle. This circle will be the center of our scroll. We're gonna place our stickers on the outside of it on both sides. So when we plan our flower, we need to leave space for the stickers on the inside. So if my circle is about that size, I don't want to place anything bigger than that as my flower, so it leaves some space for my stickers. Now this is just a rule of thumb, so some guys, they like their flowers really big, sometimes hanging outside of their circle, and then they just place their petals kind of in between the petals, wherever they can place them, because they say the main feature is the flower, and the scroll work, the sticker work around it, it's just some addition. But I like to share the space evenly, so my flower doesn't occupy the whole thing. I put my flower center in the center of my circle. There's usually a smaller petal, and if we do the classic 5-petal flower, this is how I share the space between these petals. And the reason for this smaller one is if we do a flower, a classic 5-petal flower, where all petals are the same size, this is a front view, so we see it from the top. There's no distortion, or flower is not in any angle. But this one doesn't make our tooling as 3-dimensional. As if we do a smaller one, this is not a smaller one in reality, it's just we view it from an angle, so it seems smaller. And then they usually go with the next pair of petal. This is already a little bit from the side also, and maybe got a little turn back. And then the next pair they kind of visible from the front. You can see the whole surface. And then you can add your waves. Maybe the short one also has a little turn back. Just like that. This is a classic shape. I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of them out there. I don't even know what type of flower this is. It's not important. You don't have to be specific about what type of flower is that. Could be a poppy or it could be anything with 5 petals. And if you wanna be specific about what kind of flowers you're drawing, then all you need to worry about is the amount of petals. Like when you do a dogwood, it has 4 petals. But still, this one also can be pretty much anything, while the dogwood it has a center, something like that. Now you don't need to worry about it. It could be 5 petals, or it could be just 4. As long as they look good, once tooled, it doesn't matter what they're called. Now the planning phase, how you build up your flowers. Well, first you need a center, and the shape of this center, choose it according your stamping tool. So if you have an oval, maybe with a little cedar around it, you know what size of tools you have, size your flowers according to that. And the next thing, you need to decide how big your flower is gonna be. Let's say I want to contain mine within this circle, and then the amount of petals. You want to do a 4-piece, then you need 4 connection points. And then you can place your petals in between that. Or if you want to do a 5-piece, then you're gonna need, okay, this is not really visible anymore, so then you need 5 connection points, and you pick 2, place your small petal, the one that is from an angled view, in between there, and then the next ones, they are halfway from the side, with a little bit turned back in here, and then it's pair, and then the remaining 2 just goes in here. You can place your petals right beside one another so they don't overlap. This is something a little cherry flower would do. Or you can make them bigger in a way that they overlap. Now the small one is usually on top. These are coming from underneath here. And then this one goes underneath. And the last one goes underneath these 2. So on top, below, on top, below, on top, below, on top, below, on top, and this one is below these two on both sides. Now I'm still planning my flower, so I don't really worry about how does it look right now, if the petals are in the right shape. I'm just doing my layout. Because first, I'm gonna do my scroll work around it. Put a stem in here, converge it to the circle. Nothing looks like anything right now because I'm still planning. I'm not worrying about shapes too much. I'm just worrying about placement. Drawing with thin lines in here. I just want to get around my circle safely. I don't even worry about if they overlap a lot. I'm not sure if this tip of that sticker is going to be on top of the petal or underneath. I don't have to decide that right now. I'm just trying to make it all around. This is how I plan my layout. I just want to see how many stuff I can place in my circle and what happens by the time I get around. That's a big mess in here, but I know exactly where my stickers are. And now I got a pretty good idea how my circle is gonna look like, how my scroll is gonna look like. And normally the next thing I would do is I do my outside. No, we're not doing the scroll part in this lesson, but I still need it finished so I can talk about my flower a little bit more. It's a pretty basic circle and it's a boring one, but I'm not focusing on my scroll right now. Okay, I gotta finish scroll. I'm gonna start to commit to my lines. I kind of like this one on top. Why is that important? Because now I know what I'm gonna do with this petal. Place my waves in here. This sticker is gonna be on top. So this is the stage I'm starting to shape my flower to its final look. You have to develop the whole thing together. Because until the very end, when I'm saying, okay, this scroll looks good, nothing is certain here. Now this petal gets covered up too much. I don't like it. So what I'm gonna do is I place this sticker underneath. But this one is okay on top. And then let's show this petal almost fully, maybe a little bit. Coverage in here is good. This one goes underneath again. This one is good on top, but we need some waves. So if you do not finalize your flower, you don't have to tailor every sticker in a way that your flower is already set and you don't have no other choice but to place your stickers in between these petals. So you don't have to go and say, this is my flower, this is its exact shape no matter what. If you do that, you're gonna have a hard time to build your scroll around it. But if you go instead, this is the rough shape of my flower. I know I want a 4-petal, but beyond that we'll see. And then you start to plan your sticker work around it and see where it takes you. Then you can modify these petals. I got too much space in here and I already have these petals planned up and I don't want to change them. I don't want to redo the whole thing. So I'm just gonna extend my petal, maybe bend my flower this direction a little bit. Extend the petal so it eats up this dead space in here. And then maybe enlarge this one a little bit more. And then I go around with my stickers. And once I'm happy with these spaces in here, I'm not happy with this, but that's not the point right now. So once I'm happy with my scroll, then I can start to finalize my flower. Okay, this petal doesn't cover too much, not too little. I like it, so I settle on the size of it. I settle on the shape of it. Maybe I wanna change the shape, bending it this way a little bit more, so it shows a bit more background in here. And once I'm happy with the placement and the size of my petal, then I'm gonna start to draw the final shape of it. Yeah, my lines are getting a little bit too thick in here. I hope you can see it. Maybe I can clean it up a little bit for you. Yeah, it starts to look like a petal. And then here's the next one. But I don't know how it's gonna look like yet, because I haven't done my stickers on this side. I got around. It's a pretty clumsy circle. That's not the point right now. We only have to worry about these spaces and how much these stickers overlap the petal. Is it covering too much of it? By the time we finish, there won't be any petal visible. This is not good. I don't want to tool it like that, because we won't see the flower. The flower should be the first thing that attracts your eye. That's the protagonist of our movie. And then once we admired how good the flower looks, then we're gonna start to wander around the scroll work. So this is our main thing in here. We don't want to cover too much of it. So that sticker is too big. I want to show at least a good 3/4 of my petal. So when I'm looking at the whole thing, I can see full petals, maybe covered up in some places, but I can still see that it's a wholesome, healthy flower. And if I cover it up just by a little, it's gonna make the whole thing lifelike. But the point is that don't finish your flower until you know how your layout's gonna look. Just plan. If you know that your circle is about this size, then I know that I don't want to put a flower anything bigger than that in here. Well, that's just my style. You can go bigger. You can put your petals outside of your main scroll. It's gonna look good if you can pull it off. But what I do, I leave space for my scroll work. So, and then I know that I have to contain my petals in that circle, in the inner circle. You can hang it out a little bit. So first, settle on the size of your scrolls. Then the size of your flower. Decide what kind of stamp you're gonna use on the center if you're gonna carve them by hand. And then decide on the angle of your flower. So I'm gonna do them from the side a little bit, like that. Or maybe completely from the side. Just like that. Or from the front, all petals are the same. This is a top view, you see it from the top. And then decide the amount of petals. You're gonna do a lot of them. Or 4. Or the classic 5-petal layout. And then start to build your scroll. All the way around. Do not commit to any of the lines. Well, I do realize that this doesn't look like anything, but it does in my head. So when I go around, I just want to see how many stickers I can place. I don't worry about the shapes of them right now because I'm planning my layout. Okay, I got around, got a little bit more space in here. So now you're asking how this thing's gonna look like anything, because right now it doesn't look much. But for me, it says that the size of my flower is good. I got around with the stickers. So I'm gonna start to commit. My circle is not really perfect right now. So I change it a little bit. And then I start here at my flower stem. You know what, let's commit to these lines so you can see what's happening actually. Now I'm a little bit more careful with my lines, because now I need them to look a little bit better. I'm not even following my plan. Because when I reshaped the first sticker in here, if I change something in here at the start, it's gonna pile things up. It's gonna change the placing of my next sticker and the next one. And your whole thing is not gonna look like that than it did at the beginning. Okay, maybe I place one more in here. And then one more. And I got around my circle. Here was this is a little kind of sticker I usually like to do in here. Okay, now I have a better idea how the whole thing's gonna look when I finish. So now I can start to correct my petals a little bit. Now the stem is covered up by this petal almost fully. So I need to change the angle of that petal. So I can display a little bit of my stem in here and leave a little bit of background as well. The next one, it needs to be a little bit bigger, so I eat up this background area in here. The next one is okay. This sticker covers up my petal, so I don't want another sticker covering up the same. So I'm gonna place this one, the tip of this one, just underneath, so I can display more of this petal. And maybe place this one on top, this petal on top of this sticker. And now, let's see if I can get a Sharpie in here so the whole thing's gonna be more clear. Again, maybe at this point, my stickers are not perfect, but I'm concentrating on the flower right now because that's what I want to talk about. I'm just highlighting these so you can see what's going on. This one goes underneath and then comes out from underneath. This could be a little bit bigger in here. Even bigger, so I don't leave too much background in here. Not one big piece, just two smaller ones. Now we know how to place our flower and how to size it according to the size of our scroll, the size of our circle. So let's get into details because I did a lot of folding in here. Well, let's see how to shape your flower. So I got these petals planned. Now, if I know that I want to make a fold on this petal, first I have to make the space for it. If I want to fold this side, first I need to subtract the size that I want to fold. So it's round on this side because we can see the whole thing, but I'm kind of making more flat on this side so I can fold it over. So basically this is what we do. You see the overall shape, it's round in here but more flat on this side because I'm just take this part of it and I fold it over. The same thing, if I want to fold it in half, this is what it looks like when we have a complete view. But I need to make it flat here if I want to fold it over. So you cannot just go and leave the full shape of it and then do a fold, because it's not gonna look as good as when I do this. And this line here, it shouldn't go all the way. So when we're folding a petal, in reality, this is the folded part, and this line just goes all the way and connects to the silhouette of the petal. But the way we're gonna tool is we cut the outline, and then you don't want to cut the fold into it. You cannot tool this, because if you cut from here and then you cut from here, then you just cut this whole piece out. And what it's gonna do over time, this corner here, because you cut it like that, from all the wear and tear, it's gonna do this. So we cut the outline of the petal first, and then we start near to this cut, but we do not connect the fold to it on either side. You cut it from here to here, and then you bevel this line together like that. That way, this area, the leather in here is going to be intact. So it doesn't matter how much rubbing it gets, it's not gonna fold up like this. And it's still gonna appear like this cut goes all the way. Same in here. Cut it until here, and then bevel it together like that. Now these folds, they can look pretty much like anything. Experiment with a piece of paper. So just cut out the big petal and then start to fold them and experiment on how they look. And try to translate it into drawing. So these can look like that, or even like that. When the fold is much bigger, or you can fold them on both sides if you want to. There's no limit of what you can achieve. Maybe make it a little bit more flat in here, and then more round in here. The best thing, if you cut out 5 petals, assemble it with a stapler, and then just experiment with the petals, how they bend, how they look. And then practice these lines, these looks, until your hand knows how to draw them. And then, on top of the folds, you can add the waves to your petal. Give them a tip and 2 waves on each side. And then combine these with the folds we just learned. Experiment with it, keep practicing.